lips doing announcing, but this year we're so honored to have her as a Grand Marshal, Krishna Stone.
I wore something very casual, you know. Hi, I'm Krishna Stone. I am the Director of Community Relations at Gay Men's Health Crisis. This is my 24th year as a staff person at GMHC. I am also proud to be a volunteer for Heritage of Pride. I have been announcing along the march route for almost 20 years. Yes! And I'm suffering just a little bit because I'm not there today, but this is also extraordinary. So it really is an extraordinary honor to be a Grand Marshal. I feel that being a Grand Marshal is all about service, and as I work in an AIDS service organization, but I feel that it's also very important to be of service as a volunteer, and so I volunteer for Heritage of Pride, as I mentioned, and for other organizations that address homeless LGBT youth, women's reproductive health, people of color, and so much more. I think that it is an incredible day to celebrate the historic contributions of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people. And it's also very important to remember that we still have much more work to do to achieve full equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender people, and all people. So let's keep fighting, let's keep persisting, and I'm here to persist for love. Thank you.
At NYC Pride, we recognize that it's not just folks here in New York City who are looking at what we're doing, it's LGBTQ people all throughout the world. And that's why we often work to make sure we have a Grand Marshal who represents somewhere outside of the United States. Today, we are honored to have one of those folks with us here today. I'd like to introduce with translator, Gang Le.
Hello， 大家好，我叫耿乐，来自中国。
Hi everyone, my name is Geng Le. I'm from China.
在很多年前，在中国的媒体和教科书当中，还说同性恋是一种病，是变态，是需要被治疗的。那个时候，我发现我自己是 gay， 我觉得我得病了，我以为这个世界上只有我自己是这样的。
Many years ago in China, many textbooks and media still consider homosexuality as perverse and need to be treated. It was then that I found myself to be gay, and I was frightened. I thought I'm the only one and I need to be treated.
所以在17年前，我就建立了中国最早的同性恋 LGBT 的网站。我希望能够告诉很多跟自己一样的 LGBT 的朋友，他们不用自卑，更不用自杀，他们可以跟异性恋一样平等的生活在这个世界上。同时，我也希望能够告诉公众，到底什么是同性恋，我们应该如何的尊重和接纳他们。
17 years ago, I founded the earliest LGBTQ website in China because I wanted to tell people out there like me that they don't need to hate themselves or harm themselves. And I also want to raise awareness and public knowledge of LGBTQ.
现在我的网站已经有了3000万的用户，其中有2000多万是中国的 LGBT 人群。他们不仅在我的网站上找到了他们的爱情，同时他们也可以更自信地生活在这个世界上，生活在这个国度里面。我希望通过我们的努力，可以改变公众对同性恋的误解和歧视。
Now, my website has more than 30 million users, and more than 20 million of them live in China. And many of them have not only found their love on my website, but also found themselves. And I hope with my website, I can not only help them to live with more confidence, but also spread the knowledge and anti-discrimination in the society.
我很羡慕美国的 LGBT 人群，因为他们可以跟自己喜欢的人结婚，可以永远的在一起。所以我希望能够通过我和我的同事们的努力，中国的 LGBT 人群也可以有一天跟他们喜欢的人结婚。我们为之而努力。谢谢。
I envy LGBTQ people in the US because now they can marry whoever they love. And I hope with my effort and the effort of my friends with me, one day in China, LGBTQ people can also marry whoever they love. Thank you.
Our next Grand Marshal I'd like to introduce is creating a revolution in the first responder community here in New York City. Obviously, NYC Pride cares very deeply about our relationship with the entire first responder industry. But this one particular individual is creating great change in the fire department here in New York City. I'd like to introduce Grand Marshal Brooke Guinan.
Hello everyone, welcome, and thank you for being here. I'm grateful to be standing before you as a Grand Marshal for today. I want to thank Heritage of Pride for this amazing, wonderful honor and for the great, great work that they do all year round for the LGBTQ community. Thank you to them. As a trans woman, it's especially touching to be here with my community and with my many families. I've been lucky in my life to have the support of many families. My biological family, who have always put aside their own fears, reservations, and unfamiliarity with LGBTQ issues to simply love their children. To my husband, who is my rock, who has been the person supporting me and making sure that I'm taking care of myself. I love you, and I'm so thankful to have found a love that we share, especially as a trans woman, knowing how difficult it is to find acceptance in today's community. To my FDNY family, who have allowed me to be my true self and created spaces for me to attempt to affect social change, both within the city of New York and within the fire department itself. To my most important family, to my LGBTQ people who have helped me discover my authentic self, who have provided me with support when I needed it and have given me hope, so much hope, through the resilience of our community. I'm a product of the inspiration that many trans and gender variant people have given me. It is not one person. We are a community, we are a family, and no one does this alone. I'm very, very lucky to have my best friend here with me today, Shane Zaslow, who has been an inspiration to me as another trans person for over a decade. We've supported each other, and I think that's a representation of what it means to be part of this community, to support and uplift and uphold one another when you need it, and to celebrate each other's victories and mourn each other's losses. Here we are nearly 50 years after the Stonewall riots, and we still march for equality. We call it a march because our community still finds itself facing discrimination, and many members of our community are literally fighting for their lives. Trans women of color continue to live in an intersectional space in our society where they identify not just as LGBTQ people, but as women and as people of color. Those are groups who face continued battles for control over their own lives and destinies. We live in a society that would prefer that we stay in a closet or be easily explained away by a conventional normative culture. Much like that night in June of 1969, we are living in a climate today where it is just as important to show up and insist that we be respected, that insist that we be valued in our society, most importantly, not just here in the United States, but as we've seen across the entire globe. Although we live in a culture that would prefer us to fit easily into a binary or a box or a bathroom, we must demand that we write our own narratives and refuse to let others define us how they would like. As a trans woman, I can tell you that we are everywhere and we are everyone. We will overcome our roadblocks as we have done for many years because we deserve the same rights as all human beings. Visibility is a powerful act of resistance. As my mother once said to me, we are products of our own lived experiences. And had she not had a transgender child, she would be completely unaware of the issues that transgender people face. I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment, and it has been and remains my hope that through being visible, we can humanize and demystify the experiences of our community for the entire world. So to my LGBTQ family, show up, speak out, and love every different, unique, scary, wonderful human part of yourself, because together we are proud. Visibility and self-love remain some of the most powerful forms of rebellion, and we must continue to rebel and be proud. Thank you so much for this honor, to Heritage of Pride, to all the other Grand Marshals, and have a happy, wonderful, safe Pride, everyone.